Chinese women's singles final. The 2007 World Junior Champion Wang Lin up against the Olympic silver medalist, the tall lady, Xie.Xingfang. There she is, Xie.Xingfang, two-time world champion. Won those titles in 2005 and 2006. Against the future of world badminton. But the future may well be the present. Wang Lin, last year's world junior champion, has been in tremendous form against the experience of the 27-year-old from Guangzhou in Guangdong province in southern China. The umpire, Sven Sodri of Belgium. And Micheline Savage of France is the service judge. I do beg his pardon. It's Antonius Landry of France who is the service judge. The toss of the coin to decide which end the players will start. The court attendants bringing on the players' spare rackets. Xie.Xingfang, bitter disappointment for her losing that Olympic final in an hour and 11 minutes against the holder of the Olympic title, who had won it 4 years previously in Athens, Zhang Ning. Zhang Ning, of course, who has now retired from international badminton. Up against this lady, Wang Lin, who until earlier today was the reigning world junior champion. Just over an hour ago, of course, that title, women's singles junior world champion, has now gone to Saina Nehwal, young Indian player playing in her home country in the city of Pune, winning the world junior title against Sayaka Sato of Japan, 2 straight games. So Wang Lin no longer the reigning world junior champion, but let me tell you what a sensational career she's had so far. When she was just 17 years old, she won the China Masters in 2006. She's only 19 now. Raced up the world ranking to number 12 this week. She was 22 last week, and the reason she's 12 this week is because she won the Denmark Open Super Series event in Odense in Jutland, Denmark last year. Pi Hongyan, last year's beaten finalist from France, now representing France. Of course, she was born in China. Wang Lin and Xie.Xingfang, 11 finals last year. She won 8 of them. But only 2 titles this year. Only 2 titles. Isn't that just extraordinary? We expect so much of this lady. She won the Swiss Open and the Thailand Open, and of course a beaten finalist in the Olympic Games. But remarkably, this is only her 5th tournament of the year. Her semi-final against the number 4 seed, the reigning All England champion Tina Rasmussen. What a thriller it was. 21-16 in the deciding game. But of course, Xie.Xingfang actually went to 3 games in her first round match against Wang Chen of Hong Kong. And it's quite remarkable when you think that last year at the World Championships, Wang Chen was the silver medalist, and this year she's coming up against the number 2 seed in the very first round of these Super Series events, such as Wang Chen's world ranking dropped. Only 32 in the draw of Super Series events, and that means that only 8 players seeded. So as Pi Hongyan remembers back to last year in the final when she lost out to the player on court today, Xie.Xingfang. She lost in 2 straight games. But I think that this young lady from China is a precocious talent. She and another player, another former world junior champion, Wang Yihan, really are incredible athletes and incredible players. Wang Lin, not only winner of the Danish Open, but she was runner-up at the China Masters. So the last 2 Super Series events that have been staged in World Badminton, she's reached the final. So this is her 3rd consecutive final, and a 2nd final in 2 weeks. Xie.Xingfang, of course, didn't play in Denmark last week. So Sven Savary of Belgium announcing the match.
Wang Ling, China. On my left, Xie.Xingfang, China. Wang Ling to serve. Level. Play.
So the former world junior champion in the all-black kit, Wang Lin, very much in form, having won the Danish Open last week and beaten finalist in the previous Super Series event to the China Masters. She's up against the very experienced former world champion, 2-time former world champion, Xie.Xingfang. This Xie.Xingfang's first tournament since losing in the Olympic final in Beijing.
Service over.
She's had a tough time getting through to today's final as the former world junior champion. Quarter-final match against Goto of Japan went the full distance, and then the semi-final victory over the #1 seed last week's world #1 ranked player Lu Lan of China. 23-21, 21-16 in the second game, that semi-final. But just to remind you, of course, that Xie.Xingfang in her semi-final had to overcome the current All England champion, the #4 seed from Denmark. 3 tough games there, including 3 tough games in the first round match against last year's World Championship silver medalist Wang Chen. So I guess as far as this particular week is concerned, it's Xie.Xingfang that's perhaps had the more physical route through to today's final. But we've got to remember, of course, that this lady, Wang Lin, played 5 matches last week to take the Danish Open title. So the accumulation of tiredness for the youngster may be a deciding factor.
Three.
Oh, that's lovely. I was mesmerised in that rally by the movement of Wang Lin.
5-3.
She's almost like a female version, in a way, of Lin Dan, in the fact that there's gliding movement across the court and almost seems to walk back to that base position before a sudden injection of pace as she moves quickly to the next shuttle.
Service over. 4-5. Serve's over.
This is the third meeting
6-4.
between these two players, and honours in the previous two are shared. First time they met was at the China Masters in 2005, when Wang Lin was just 16 years of age. And then the next year at the same tournament, Wang Lin enjoyed her first ever major tournament win,
Service over.
beating
5,
Xie.Xingfang
6.
in the final. So winning the China Masters when she was just 17 years old. Remarkable.
Service over. 7-5.
Well, I've certainly been watching this young lady very carefully over the last few Super Series events, and I have to say I can't see an obvious problem with her style of play. I cannot see an obvious weakness. She is such a complete player.
9-5.
Good movement, good racket skills, good tactical awareness. Both her parents, incidentally, were full-time badminton players, so it's not surprising that she too
Service over.
sits so comfortably within the sport.
6-9.
Forced to turn and play the high backhand, and that's always an indication
7,
the player is in trouble.
9.
I see badminton players desperately trying to play what we term the round the head shot, where they still play with the overhead action rather than turning and playing a backhand, because the problem with the backhand is that you've got your back to the net. You can't see where the court is and you can't see where your opponent is, and that's always a danger. Yeah, that's lovely.
Service over. 10-7.
Oh, golden opportunity, she knows it. Opportunity
Service
missed.
over. 8-10.
Desperately short lift, really inviting the attacking play. Superb.
Service over.
3-point advantage at the
11-8.
mid-game interval for the former world junior champion, Wang Lin. Of course, no coaching staff involved because both these players from the same country. Chinese coaches will be just sitting in the crowd enjoying this one.
Twenty seconds. 20 seconds. (11-8). Play.
Yeah, I suspect that we might see the former world champion Xie.Xingfang really up the pace of her game now,
9-11.
sensing the danger. And pace of game, I mean, not just pace of shot. I think she might try and up the pace of movement. But what on earth do you do against a wonderful defensive shot blocked across court like that? Look, she's made a big effort to try and get on the attack, try and be positive.
Thirteen, 9.
My goodness! What a rally! The final shot taken off the top of the tape. Skimming shuttle, and I think Xie.Xingfang was so surprised.
9.
Completely missed it. So now the youngster has opened up a 5-point cushion. Some nice skill from Xie.Xingfang.
Service over.
Don't get to
10,
win 3 consecutive
14.
All England titles unless you've got very good racket skills. Of course, winner of the All England 2005 to 2007. Last year she really wasn't dominant in world terms, but has struggled in 2008. Yeah, once again, the deception with the overhead, using the skill of the slice shot.
11-14.
Slicing across the feathers of the shuttle, it brings it down so steeply. Extra spin on the shuttle.
Twelve, 14.
Oh, that's very, very good. Singles all about trying to outmaneuver your opponent. She pushed Xie.Xingfang deep into her forehand corner.
Service over. 15.
Then brought her
12.
forward. And then went for the winning smash. Just drifted wide. Good call by the line judge. I'm looking straight down that line.
16-12.
Well, she's certainly not
17,
intimidated
12.
by a reputation of her opponent, is she, Wang Lin? Of course, unseeded this week because
18,
a week ago
12.
world ranking was down at 22, so she's leapt to number 12 in the world. this week by virtue of winning the Danish Open. 6-point advantage now. Make that 7. And just 2 points away from this
19,
opening game.
12.
Short. Oh, she needn't have taken that. That was going out. And the hesitation has allowed Xie.Xingfang right back into the rally.
Serve is over. 13, 19.
Yeah, good judgment. Shuttle drifts wide, a little shake of the head from Xie.Xingfang, because
20
it is now
game point,
7 game
30.
points. Unbelievable. No, that's not possible. How on earth did Wang Lin play that backhand and yet still reach the net in time?
14, 20.
Loose shot. This was the backhand. Unbelievable. Oh, perfect net shot from the former world champion.
15, 20.
Oh, it's called wide. Well, that was desperately close.
16, 20.
Well, 3 game points have been saved. Another 4 remain.
Seventeen, 20.
Missed another one.
18,
Surely not.
20.
Surely we're not going to go to extra points.
Game.
This time. My goodness, it was all getting frightfully nerve-wracking at the end of that game. Having squandered
First
5
game won by
game
Wang
points,
Ling.
eventually taking it
18.
21-18 in 17 minutes. the autograph hunters. Getting the autograph of Pi Hongyan of France. Very famous lady here as far as French badminton is concerned. So Wang Lin, the 19-year-old, one game up against the former world number one, the two-time former world champion Xie.Xingfang. Missed it.
1-love.
And a little shake of her head. She is bothered. She knows that this is a tough, tough encounter. Wang Lin really is on a roll. It's her third Super Series final in 3 Super Series tournaments. Oh, that's nice. But not the attempted winning smash.
2-1. There's the tactical awareness. Play her opponent down the backhand side and then a fast shot down her forehand. Yeah, that's class though. Serve's over. 4-2.
Oh, she's pushed it long.
5-2.
Yes, and just signs to me that Wang Lin is perhaps feeling that she's got to play the perfect shot to play a winner against Xie.Xingfang, not allowing herself margin for error, and that was a desperation trying to leave a shuttle.
2.
It's clearly in. Well, I was just watching both players and their court coverage in that rally. Both of them pushed to the back, then brought forward many times on the diagonal, making them move the full distance of the court. Oh my goodness, Xie.Xingfang taking a shuttle that had gone way past her. It was such an opportunity for Wang Lin, but she squandered it. Xie.Xingfang now, in my opinion, definitely controlling the front of the court. She's the one that's getting there first, racket outstretched, playing the tight spinning net shots. And once you've got control of the net play in singles, you do tend to control the match. But Wang Ling just saying, well, if you're going to come in and play the tight spinning net shot, then I'm going to play the cross-court net. Oh, yes. There, once again, a perfect example of Xie.Xingfang coming forward, racket outstretched, that tight spinning net shot. And this is where it puts Wang Lin under so much pressure. She was taking the net shot so close to the floor, so late. This really is a different Xie.Xingfang here in the second game, 11-4.
11-4.
7-point advantage at the mid-game interval.
Twenty seconds. 20 seconds. See, you want to change? (11-4). Play.
Goodness me. She comes up with angles of shots that
Service over. 5-11.
not many other women's singles players can actually produce. She makes it look so easily. She's got such an easy, relaxed overhead hitting action as the youngster.
Service over. 12-5.
Yes. Well, of course, in singles, when you go for the cross-court angle, unless you're putting your opponent under severe pressure,
6-12.
then, of course, you can be playing yourself into trouble, as indeed Xie.Xingfang did on that occasion. Because if your opponent can reach it and just does the little block, you've got the full diagonal of the court to run. That's the furthest distance. Well, just a couple of moments ago, I said that Xie.Xingfang was really beginning to control the front of the court. I wonder if that's just turning slightly. Last couple of points, Wang Lin is the one who's come forward, taking the shuttle early. Oh, it's a great shot. Yeah, setting up the rally with a little hold and flick deep into the backhand corner of Xie.Xingfang.
8-12.
Produced a short clear from the backhand and a simple opportunity to play the winning smash. lovely. Such deception.
Service over. 13.
Reverse slice straight drop from Xie.Xingfang, played to perfection. Oh, my goodness me. Well, that's about as much as a celebration you'll get from Xie.Xingfang. The little clenched fist at the end of the rally. Look at this. The shuttle hits the top of the tape, just bounces over. Yeah, it looks to me as if Wang Lin is beginning to look for that slice across court from deep in Xie.Xingfang's forehand side.
Serves over. 15-9.
The shuttle deflected as Wang Lin tried to lift it to the back, and therefore it woefully short. Look how
16-9.
near the front of the court Xie.Xingfang is as she plays the winning smash. Well, it's very much looking as if we will probably go the full distance to a third and deciding game.
$17-9.
Just long.
18-9.
9-point advantage. That is sensational. The incredible take off the top of the tape.
Service over. 10-18.
And it really is becoming an intriguing battle at the front of the court on these net shots.
18. $12-18.
That's super. Always seems to get behind the shuttle, Wang Lin. It was a run of 4 straight points, but one suspects it's too little too late.
19-13.
Mind you, of course, let's not forget that Wang Lin was
2013 up in the opening game before only eventually winning it 21-18. And we've got a similar situation here.
20 game points.
7 game
30.
points now to level this final at 1 game apiece. Great rally. And indeed, we will be treated to a third and deciding game.
Second game won by Xie.Xingfang, 21-13, 1 game all.
34 minutes of play to get us to this point, all level, 1 game apiece in the women's singles final.
Et maintenant tu vas être aussi. Non.
This magnificent stadium, the Coubertin Stadium here in Paris. Baron Pierre de Coubertin, founder of the modern Olympic Games.
On peut y aller. Twenty seconds. 20 seconds.
Well, this is the third time in this tournament that Xie.Xingfang has been taken the full distance. Just the second time for her opponent. But of course, when you take into account the 5 matches that this young lady,
Final
Wang
game.
Lin, played last week in winning
Level.
the Danish Open,
Play.
I wonder if that tiredness has accumulated and perhaps whether this is 1 match too far.
1 love. Service over. 1-all.
Well, it really has been an intriguing battle so far, especially at the front of the court. Neither player able to really dominate. I did think one stage in that second game that Xie.Xingfang was controlling the net play, and then suddenly her opponent managed to take that away from her. And I wonder if they're both being a little bit reluctant to play back to the net, both so aware of the
2-1.
capabilities of their opponent. Yeah, fantastic. Outmaneuvering Xie.Xingfang, pushing her deep
3-1.
in the fast angled shot to bring her forward. Oh, great net play.
Oh, it's wide. Wide of the sideline, and a little glance from Xie.Xingfang up to the umpire as if to say, can you confirm the call?
4-1.
And indeed he does. Four straight points for the youngster. So much for my theory that the accumulation of tiredness, I think that she's really injected some pace of movement. Real determination seems to be to get to the shuttle early.
One.
Yeah.
6-1.
Once again, it's clever play. Gives the shuttle a little bit of extra height. Does Wang Lin. Makes it drop a little more steeply over the net. Oh, that's called good.
Serve's over. 2-6.
Well, as you can hear the umpire saying 2-6, our score graphic just behind us at the moment. Yeah.
Serve's over. 7-2.
Oh, it's a lovely shot from Xie.Xingfang. And she'd been forced to cover an awful lot of court in that rally. Look at that. Deep forehand, then net to the backhand side, and then push to the back yet again. And she comes up with a winner like that. Fantastic.
Seven.
Well, I said it was an intriguing battle of the net play. Exemplified in that rally. Look at this. That was a net cord. How on earth did Xie.Xingfang get it back? But Wang Lin was ready and waiting.
Nine, 4.
It's a good clear.
Oh my goodness. How on earth are these players playing shots like that? She's just been pulled forward in court. Look at the balance and poise in her movement. Gets behind the shuttle, gives herself the options. No, missed it that time. Yeah, forced to take the shuttle when it was way past her.
Serves over. 5-10. Serves over.
Well, there was less pace on the downward shot from Wang Lin, forcing Xie.Xingfang to try and put pace on the shuttle herself. She couldn't manage it. That's why she made the error. It's 11-5 at the mid-game interval.
Twenty seconds. 20 seconds.
So a 6-point advantage
11-5.
for the former world junior champion Wang Lin in this final against the two-time former world champion Xie.Xingfang. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Generated exactly the right power with the overhead there, with a little punch action with the racket head. It looked as if she was going to play the drop shot at the last minute, generating that extra power to play it to the back of the court. Yeah, same again. They're setting up the rally. You know, so many people think that the clear to the back of the court is a deceptive shot, but when it's played with pace, as Wang Lin has done in the last two rallies, it really is a good attacking shot. It sets up the rally. Yeah, brilliant. Once again, that movement back in court from Wang Lin. So fluid, so fast and effective. Gets behind the shuttle to play the smash. And things looking very ominous for Xie.Xingfang. Yeah, well, as soon as I say that, she comes up with extraordinary winners, because she is an extraordinary player.
Service over. 6-14.
2 world titles, 3 consecutive All England titles, Olympic silver medal, 8 titles last year. You don't achieve that unless you've got something special. Yeah, but that's landed in. That was a misjudgment. An equally perfect shot from Wang Lin.
15-6.
9-point advantage. Make that 10. Yeah, big sigh from Xie.Xingfang. There was talk after the Olympic Games. She was so bitterly disappointed as to leaving that final. You know, whether she would continue playing or not. Well, I said at the China Masters in Changzhou that Wang Lin was the future of world badminton. As far as women's singles is concerned, the future has become the present. Oh, it's a fraction wide. That was a very good call by the line judge. I've got a perfect view of that
17.
line.
Yes, another one. And Xie.Xingfang is just being outmaneuvered. And I've been commentating on her.
18-7.
Well, certainly for the last 8 years. And I haven't said that often.
Serve's over. 8-18.
But this is a huge mountain to climb for Xie.Xingfang. 10 points adrift.
Oh, but that's nice, coming up with the unexpected.
Nine, 18.
No, missed it. Well, the last time she moved back in court fast to hit the round the head
10,
shot, she smashed
18.
down Xie.Xingfang's forehand side, that time going for the cross court, aiming for a backhand. But just overdoing the angle. That's wide as well.
Eleven, 18.
I don't believe it. Not surprising. Both players ask if they can just towel down. Xie.Xingfang had every right to believe that she won the rally. The retrieving capabilities there of Wang Lin as she stretched deep into her forehand side. And it means that the youngster is just 2 points away from her second title in 2 weeks. Now just the 1 point required. It's 9 match points.
20 match point, 11.
First time of asking. Well, she may have handed over her World Junior crown to Saina Nehwal earlier today. The youngster from India taking that title in her home country, but I tell you, Wang Lin is on the top of her game in world badminton. She may be only number 12 in the world ranking, but that will shoot up again this week after her second Super Series title in 2 Super Series tournaments. And when you consider that the Super Series tournament prior to Denmark was the China Masters, and she reached the final of that, losing out to Xiao Mei, who is this week the world #1 player. Well, Wang Lin has arrived in world badminton, and she will be here to stay for a long, long time. 21-18, 13-21, 21-11 in the deciding game against the two-time former world champion and Olympic silver medalist Xie.Xingfang. A star has been born. Wang Lin of China.
This is one of the super sports stars who have made an impact in 2008. Do you know him? If you do, log on to our website now to take part in a simple contest and stand to win attractive Adidas prizes.
Boss, fragrances for men.
So the women's singles finalists come forward here in this wonderful arena, the Pierre de Coubertin Stadium in Paris. The big smile from Wang Lin. Such a complete player and just 19 years of age. For Xie.Xingfang, in only her 5th tournament of the year. Of course, as #1 seed at the All England in March. She lost in the first round to Yip Hui Yin. People asked a lot of questions after that result, and I wonder in her own mind whether she'll be asking questions of herself as to whether she really wants to continue. Of course, her boyfriend Lin Dan, the Olympic champion from China, he's continuing to play in the world circuit, and presumably if she doesn't continue, then the two will hardly see each other, so perhaps that might be the deciding factor.
President of the French Badminton Federation, and Mr. Barnard, President of the European Badminton Federation. Representing China, représentant la Chine, finaliste des internationaux de France de badminton 2008, Xie.Xingfang.
Champion 12 months ago here at the French Open, Xie.Xingfang this year has to settle for second best.
Representing China, représentant également la Chine, vainqueur des internationaux de France 2008 en simple dame, winner of the French Super Series 2008, Wang Lin.
Wang Lin, the 19-year-old, her second title in 2 weeks. What a phenomenal achievement.
Bravo à Wang Lin pour cette belle victoire.
And that's a lovely sight. The more experienced player, Xie.Xingfang, her arm round her young compatriot.